Back in episode 1, where we talked about dopamine, I told you your brain was not broken, that it was doing exactly what it was built to do with the information it had. I asked you to understand the machine while you're fixing it. You are. And today I want to show you what has been happening inside your body while you were learning. Because some of it you can feel. And some of it has been happening so quietly you had no idea. Now, I need to say something before we go any further. Throughout this season, we have talked about what happens at 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Those numbers are biological markers. They are not a calendar for how fast you should be listening to this show. Some of you have been here since episode 1 dropped, and you are right at that 90-day mark. Some of you found this show last week and listened to the whole thing in a weekend. Some of you are at day 12, some at day 200. Some of you relapsed somewhere in the middle and restarted. All of that is fine. What I am about to walk you through is what happens in your body across the first 90 days of sobriety. It is a biological report, not a personal deadline. Wherever you are on this timeline, you are somewhere on this curve. And wherever that is, you are ahead of where you started. This is Recovery Decoded, episode 14, the 90-day report. Your body is healing. Here is the map. You choose the route. Let us start at the top. Your brain. Your dopamine receptors have been rebuilding since the day you stopped flooding them. We called them satellite dishes in episode 1. During active use, your brain took the dishes down to protect itself from the signal. Now they are coming back up. By 90 days of sobriety, there is significant upregulation. Not back to pre-addiction levels. That takes 12 to 18 months for most substances. But measurably stronger than day 1. The sunset registers a little more. The coffee tastes a little richer. Your daughter's laugh lands somewhere it could not reach 8 weeks ago. The dishes are coming back up. Your prefrontal cortex, the decision maker, the impulse controller, the part of your brain that says not yet when the craving program says now. It is measurably stronger. Brain imaging studies show increased prefrontal activity and connectivity after sustained abstinence. The muscle you have been training since episode 4, the 15-minute delay, the urge surfing, every small deliberate choice from episode 10, that muscle is physically larger, not metaphorically. The gray matter density in your prefrontal cortex increases with sobriety. Every rep counted. Your amygdala, the alarm system from episode 3, is less reactive. The stress switch does not flip as easily. The 90-second rule works faster now because the circuit is less inflamed. Your threat detection system is recalibrating from everything is dangerous to let me check first. Your default mode network, the part of your brain that runs the 2 a.m. shame loop from episode 8, it is quieter. Not gone. Quieter. The courtroom reframe works better now because the prosecution's case is weaker. The evidence log has data in it. The defense has something to work with. And neuroinflammation, the thick glove from episode 11 that dulled everything you felt, it is significantly reduced. Emotions are closer to the surface. If you have noticed that you cry more easily now than you did at 30 days, that is not weakness. That is the glove getting thinner. That is healing. Your sleep. Call back to episode 2. Your REM sleep is returning. The glymphatic system, the brain's cleaning crew that shrinks your cells 60% during deep sleep to flush out waste, it is working more effectively now. Your brain is cleaning itself better than it has in months, maybe years. Sleep architecture is normalizing. Deep sleep phases are lengthening. The 4 stages are cycling more reliably. If your dreams have been vivid or sometimes disturbing, that is REM rebound. Your brain is catching up on the dream sleep it was deprived of. It is a sign of healing, not a problem. If you have been using the wind down protocol from episode 2, screens off, temperature down, 4-7-8 breathing, that protocol may have become automatic by now. You might not even think about it. That is the basal ganglia encoding from episode 10. The habit formed. The willpower cost dropped to 0. The architecture is running itself. Your gut. The gut-brain highway from episode 9 is rebuilding. If you have been following the 3 nutrition rules from episode 10, protein first, something fermented, do not skip meals, your gut lining integrity is improving. Bacterial diversity is increasing. And here is what matters most about that. 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. Serotonin, the chemical that makes things feel meaningful. As your gut heals, your serotonin production increases. The world does not just feel more pleasurable, it feels more meaningful. The saturation is coming back up. Your liver. For those of you recovering from alcohol, your liver is one of the most resilient organs in your body. It was built to recover. By 90 days, enzyme levels are normalizing, fat deposits are reducing, inflammation is down significantly. Your liver has been quietly doing its job while you were doing yours, and it is ahead of schedule. Your heart. Blood pressure is normalizing. Heart rate variability is improving. Call back to episode 9, that is vagal tone strengthening. Your resting heart rate is lower. The cardiovascular system is one of the fastest systems to show measurable improvement in sobriety. Your heart started healing before your brain did. It has been waiting for the rest of you to catch up. Your skin. Your appearance. You may not see it because you look at yourself every day. But someone who has not seen you in 90 days would notice. Hydration returning, inflammation down, puffiness reduced, the dullness lifting. You look different. You may not see it yet. Other people do. Your nervous system. Vagal tone from episode 9 is improved. The ventral vagal social engagement system from episode 12 is stronger. You can tolerate connection longer. A conversation that would have exhausted you at 30 days might feel almost natural now. Your stress response settles faster. The HPA axis from episode 3 is recalibrating. Cortisol spikes are shorter. Recovery from stress is quicker. Your body is learning to come back to baseline instead of staying in alarm. Now, what is still healing? Because I am not going to pretend everything is fixed. That is not how I talk to you, and it is not what you need to hear. Dopamine receptors. Significant progress by 90 days. Full receptor recovery takes 12 to 18 months for most substances. You are ahead of where you were. You are not at the finish line. That is okay. The trajectory matters more than the position. Anhedonia from episode 11. If flickers have appeared, moments where something almost registers, the system is working. If you are still in the gray, the 90-day clinical conversation applies. Talk to your doctor. Use the word anhedonia. That is not giving up. That is using a tool. Sleep. Better is not the same as normal. Full sleep normalization can take 6 to 12 months. Keep the protocol. It is working, even when it does not feel like it. Emotional regulation. Improving, but still fragile. The tools work. They need to keep being used. The courtroom reframe, the halt check, the evidence log. These are not training wheels you take off. They are part of the bike. Memory and cognition. This one is slower than people expect. If you still feel foggy, if words do not come as quickly, if concentration is shorter than it used to be, that is one of the longer recoveries. 6 to 12 months for noticeable sharpness returning. It comes back. It just takes longer than the rest. Real talk. I want to be honest with you about something. Some of you did not make it to day 90 clean. You lapsed, maybe more than once, and you are still here listening. That matters more than a number on a calendar. 90 days is not magic. It is a marker. The biology does not know what day it is. Your receptors did not check the calendar this morning. What happened is cumulative. Every sober day contributed. A lapse did not erase the ones before it. We covered that in episode 13. A lapse slows the rebuild. It does not demolish it. And if you are listening to this on day 12 or day 40 or day 200, this report still applies. The timeline scales. You are somewhere on this curve. And wherever you are ahead of where you started. There is something I do not know. And I think you deserve to hear me say that. I do not know if this gets easier forever. I do not know if the cravings fully stop. Nobody can promise you that, honestly. What I can tell you is that the data shows it gets different. The nature of the challenge changes. The white-knuckle survival of the first 30 days becomes the quiet maintenance of the first year, becomes the long-game vigilance of sustained sobriety. It changes shape, and you have more tools now than you did 13 weeks ago. That is not hope. That is math. Here is your personal toolkit card. Everything from the season, organized by the moment you needed. When you cannot sleep. Wind down protocol. 4-7-8 breathing. Episode 2. When stress hits, halt check. Box breathing. 90-second rule. Cold stimulus. Episode 3. When a craving hits. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grounding. Urge surfing. 15-minute delay. Change state. Episode 4. When shame spirals. Courtroom reframe. Shame naming. Guilt extraction. Evidence log. Would I say this to them? Episode 8. When motivation dies. Why audit, mirror check, values inventory. Episode 7. When you feel nothing. Do it anyway. Novelty, movement, connection. Episode 11. When you need a person. Call someone script. 3 versions. Episode 12. When the routine slips. Morning anchor. Midday, if then. Evening wind down. Episode 10. When a relapse is building. Stage 1 and 2 radar check. Crisis protocol. Relapse autopsy. Episode 13. And always. Morning dopamine stack from Episode 1. Daily inventory. Gratitude bookmark. Episode 10. That is your system. Not a collection of tips. A system. Built across 14 episodes. Backed by neuroscience. Designed for the moments when your brain forgets what it learned. The next 90 days. Days 90 through 180. The maintenance phase. The architecture runs itself, but complacency is the new threat. Keep the weekly radar check from Episode 13. Keep the evidence log from Episode 8. The tools work best when they are practiced, not just remembered. The 6-month mark. Most people report a qualitative shift here. Life starts feeling like life instead of recovery. The identity from Episode 7 has weight now. You are not performing sobriety. You are living it. 1 year. Full emotional range for most people. The person you are becoming has arrived. Not because you hit a number, because you built them one choice at a time. Before I close this season, I want to tell you what is coming next. There are people around you who went through this too. Not the recovery, the other side of it. The spouse who did not know if you would come home. The parent who stopped sleeping. The child who learned to check your eyes when you walked in the door. Season 2 is for them. Because their healing matters too. They have their own neuroscience, their own hypervigilance, their own grief, their own anger that nobody gave them permission to feel. And some of what they need to hear, you might need to hear it with them. And yes, I will probably introduce my dog. Who has been very patient this season and deserves the recognition. Now, I want to talk directly to you for a moment. Not as a host, not as a voice explaining neuroscience. Just Elizabeth to you. You came here because something was broken, or because you were afraid something was about to break. And you sat through 14 episodes of dopamine receptors and cortisol cycles and vagus nerve anatomy and scripts you had to practice out loud in your car. That is not casual listening. That is someone who decided to understand themselves instead of giving up on themselves. I told you in episode 1 that your brain was not broken, that it was doing exactly what it was built to do. I need to tell you something now that I could not tell you then, because you would not have believed me. You were never broken. Not your brain. Not you. You were running a system that was built by pain and reinforced by chemistry and maintained by a world that did not teach you what was happening inside your own body. Now you know. You know what dopamine does. You know what your amygdala is doing at 2 a.m. You know why the craving feels like truth, and the shame feels like identity, and the numbness feels like forever. And you know none of those feelings are facts. That knowledge is yours. It does not expire. It does not require a subscription. It does not disappear if you have a bad week. It is built into you now. The same way the old program was built into you. Except this one heals instead of harms. I do not know your name. I do not know what substance brought you here. I do not know if you are 14 days in or 14 months in. I do not know if you listened alone in the dark or in your car on the way to work or at a kitchen table with someone sitting next to you. But I know you are still here. And that is not a small thing. Whatever comes next, remember, nobody is making this choice for you. Not a program, not a number on a calendar, not a voice on a podcast. You chose to understand. You chose to show up for your own defense. You chose to build something in the space where the substance used to live. That is yours. Nobody gave it to you, and nobody can take it back. The more you understand, the more you own your recovery. This has been Recovery Decoded, Season 1. Thank you for every episode, and please let me know if you want to learn more, what you think a good topic should be, in the comments. You're valued, and you matter. I will see you in Season 2.